Alrighty guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about headlines part 2. I got cut off a little bit because there's construction going on, so we are going to jump into the part 2 of the headlines right now. Okay, so does the headline need to mention money? Okay, so if you can, you want to mention money. A lot of my customers, they're selling B2B. They're selling, actually some of them are getting more, they're speaking to other benefits. Here's the deal, guys. There's only 3 problems that people have. 1, money problems. 2, mating problems. 3, health problems. Those are the 3 things. So you either help somebody make more money, you either help someone get a mate, or you help somebody live longer. Okay, so in a lot of the B2B stuff, we're solving the money problems. Okay, maybe your software solves mating problems. That'd be a pretty cool software too. But most likely, your stuff is going to solve mating problems, or maybe it solves health problems. Who knows, right? But those are the three things. You got to address one, or you can address all 3 if you really want to get crazy. Okay, so if you can't derive what's called the monetary benefit, what's the monetary benefit? People are trading U.S. dollars or whatever currency for your product or your service. So we need to, in order for that exchange to make sense for that prospect, we need to show the benefit in the terms of the currency that they're using. Okay, so we got to trade apples for apples. We can't trade if they're going to pay $10K and the return is like wishy-washy, then why are they going to buy, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. If we can show apples to apples, they pay $10K, they make $100K, then it's game over. You don't even have to be a salesperson. You can show up and you can do your sales presentation as a mime, okay? And you're still going to make sales because this absolute benefit is so powerful, okay? So what's an absolute benefit analysis, okay? So we're going to jump into essentially what this is if you guys remember your statistics and your probability from school, it's called a probabilistic benefit analysis. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to map out all the outcomes. Let me jump to my whiteboard here. So what we're going to do is we're going to map out all the outcomes. So, and this is, if you guys remember your statistics, you can just look up expected value. Okay, so expected value. All right. This is my little thing. All right, it's the sum of the expected value, so x at I, which is the outcome value, times the probability of x at I. Okay, put a little I here. So basically, what this means is we're going to map out all the outcomes for your customers. Okay, so all of the positive outcomes, all the negative outcomes. What's the probability of them saving, $10,000? Or what are the outcomes? Can you save the customer $10,000? Can you save the customer $100,000? Can you make the customer $100,000? And don't just look at the direct things that you're moving. You have to look at the second, third, fourth order consequences of what you're moving. So let's say you're helping somebody with HR, okay, and you help them find a hire, 3 times faster. Well, how does that relate to what's the actual benefit, the monetary benefit of that? How much did they save? How much did they earn? What's the opportunity cost? What did they avoid? And we're going to assign a number to that. Okay, so that you might have to go deep. You might have to call up your customers. You might have to get really clear on the absolute benefit that this new activity is yielding. Okay, so not only are we going to map out all of the outcomes, but we also have to map out the probability of those outcomes happening. Okay, so in the beginning, it's going to be probably if you don't have the historical data, you're going to have to use your assumptions. You're going to have to justify your assumptions, okay, based on other, like maybe your track record, maybe what other people have done, other, assumptions in the market, what the other vendors have done, etc. So what you want to do is you want to map out all of the outcomes, okay? So the positive, and notice you can actually map out the negative outcomes. So let's say one outcome is that the software or the product or the service doesn't work and they end up burning like $100,000, okay? That's an outcome. We have to account for that, all right? And then we have to assign a probability to that outcome, okay? So that means it's like, okay, so out of all of these, let's say out of 100 customers, one of them is going to fail fantastically, okay? And so they're going to lose $100,000. So that'd be a 1% absolute failure rate, okay, based on the historical data. But let's say 15% of your customers make, you save them 100 grand, and maybe 80% of your customers, you save 200 grand, okay? So we're going to have to map out those probability values, and we're going to match them to the expected value, okay? And this is based on that customer situation. So let's say you can't have one of these things for multiple people simultaneously because they are dependent. The probability values are dependent on the type of customer, okay? So let's say you have a customer who's like for us, we know that it's very likely that we can get to a customer to $1 million if they're already at $10,000 a month, okay? If they're already at $10,000 a month, they have something that's already working, it's very likely that we can get them to $1 million in 12 months, okay? Annual recurring revenue. So if they're already at 100, we can get them to $1 million. Very, very likely, okay? So we do a probabilistic benefit analysis here, okay? So we can increase their MRR for the chances of us increasing to 100,000, pretty high. Increasing 30%, pretty high. Increasing 10,000, 30,000, it's 30%. 10,000, it's 40%. This is just an example, okay? Us increasing, like us not doing anything for them, there's no benefit, is a 10%. Some people will buy our stuff and they just will not do anything, okay? There are folks who make $500,000 a month in new monthly recurring revenue. We have customers that do that. So there's a percentage of customers who do that, okay? So notice that these outcomes and these probabilities, they're determined from the historical data from all the customers, right? But they're also dependent on where that customer is. So this is for a customer who's already at $10,000 a month, okay? Somebody at zero, okay? Somebody at zero, I'll just give you guys an example. Somebody at zero, okay? Let's say the revenue increase, getting them to, if they do for the full year, getting them to $10,000, okay, is very likely. I'll just say, let's say it was, you have to use your data. You'd have to go look and survey your customers. But let's say I surveyed my customers already, and let's say 30%. Okay, there's a 30%. This is xi. Okay, so this is x. So this is the outcome value, and this is p of x. Okay. All right. So there's a 30% chance that we can make somebody 10 grand. Okay, let's say if they're starting from absolute scratch. Let's say they get to their first 500,000. 500,000. Okay, from absolute scratch, there's a 10% chance that we can do that. And this is for someone who's starting at zero. Okay, let's say 20% or $20,000. Just getting the thing off the ground from absolute scratch, there is a 20% chance. Okay. The probability of them not doing anything. Okay, we're going to have a zero here. How much are we? We at 50. We're at 60. So let's say all the people that come in with zero and they leave with zero, maybe there's a 10% chance. They're just not cut up for this type of stuff. And let's say someone hits a home run. So somebody actually makes $1 million. Okay. It's $1 million, right? 6 zeros. It's hard to see. Yeah. Yeah. So someone actually makes $1 million. So what are we at right now? We're at 50, 60, 70. Okay. And there we go. Okay. So there's a 30% chance that someone makes $1 million. Now I'm just giving you guys an example. So how do we figure out the expected value? So what we do is we multiply the outcome value times the probability. And we're going to do that for all of those here. And then we're going to sum these up. Okay? And so we can come up with the expected value, okay, of $357,000. Okay? So if somebody comes to us and they buy our stuff and they're at zero, they don't even have an idea. They're at absolute zero. Okay? Based on the absolute benefit analysis, the probabilistic benefit analysis, someone that comes in at absolute zero based on the historical stuff, the expected value of the system is $357,000. Okay. Now, what if we charge $10K? Okay. What if the cost to doing this is $10K? And then we have to account for the costs of them. So let's go over here. We're going to do the costs. Okay. So just like the program cost, right? Program. It's called 10K for the starting from scratch. Then we actually they're going to also have to work on this a lot, right? So they might, let's call it a salary. They're going to, forego a salary, okay, by themselves. So we'll call that, maybe the opportunity cost is $70,000. Okay. Maybe they got to quit their job. That's a salary. Okay. Maybe there's a little switching cost, right? Let's add that in, switching cost. Because this is what people forget. There's switching costs. Anytime anyone's doing a new activity, there's a switching cost. Maybe they got to switch software. They got to buy a new computer. They got to do this. They got to do that, right? They got to go get some blackout blinds. Maybe they got to buy a new apartment, or they got to move, or they got to rent. They got to sell their car. There's switching costs, okay? So let's add let's call it 10K for switching costs, okay? Okay. Okay. So total costs, these are just some examples. Okay, 90,000. Okay, so total cost, 90,000. This includes not only what they're buying right now, but we also have to include the other costs. This is how you can just be a super logical salesperson. So it's $90,000. Now let's just take a look at the ROI. Okay. The ROI is this divided by this. Okay, so it's 4x. Okay, so it's a 4x ROI on their efforts. Pretty darn good. Make sense? So this is from somebody starting from absolute scratch. Okay, even a college kid could do this. Right? They come into the program, they learn how to build a business. Okay, the probability of them getting to their first 10,000, that's so easy. Yeah. So does that make sense, guys? That's how you do a probabilistic benefit analysis. You guys can play with this. Okay. I'm just going to label this example from video so you guys know what we're doing. Okay. So when you write your headline, you want to, let's say we did a probabilistic, where are we? Let's say we did a probabilistic benefit analysis. A headline would be how to make an extra, how to get $357,000 in 12 months, right? By finding product market fit. That'd be a headline. Make sense? So the headline can mention the money. Okay. So that's how you do the absolute benefit analysis. And then what if you can't determine the monetary benefit? So here's the thing. A lot of customers will say, Nick, I can't determine, I don't know this information. I don't know how this affected the business. I don't know. I can't come up with a benefit analysis. Guys, well, if you can't figure that out, then how do you know your product should exist? How do you know the business is worth a damn? This is like the most important thing. We got to know if we are actually helping people, right? So dig in, call your customers, figure it out, you know, start researching the relationships between the metrics that you're affecting and the second, third, fourth order consequences as it relates to revenue or earnings. If you can relate it to earnings or profit, it's very, very clear. Just relate it to profit. It's very clear. Okay? So just try again. A lot of our customers, they just need to try again. And then they go back and then I just say something and they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, let me try that again. And it works. Okay? They're like, oh, I never thought about that. Yeah. Well, actually, if the secretary saves this amount of time, then this actually relates to earnings like this. Well, oh yeah, it's so obvious. Okay? So if you feel like you can't put your solution in terms of monetary benefit, go back. Map out the outcomes in your little spreadsheet and see if we can derive that monetary benefit, okay? If you're selling to consumers, you can speak in terms of mating opportunities. So this is like another, this is an ad angle and messaging that works really well. Like Greg's, the fuck me now physique. Okay, excuse my language. This is word for word. This clearly speaks to the mating opportunity benefit. Okay, so when I was talking to Greg about this stuff with my mastermind clients. We work with each other, and we have these conversations and whatnot. And some of the stuff that shows up in the program was actually showed up in the mastermind like a year, 2 years prior. And so Greg and I were talking about this, and we're like, you know what? Why don't we just go for the jugular? And what do these guys really want? And we're going to go right for the nerve, right for the jugular. And that's the headline that he went with. And this headline just worked like crazy. Okay. And made Greg so much money. I actually spoke to him yesterday. In between the recording of the headline 1 and headline 2, I actually spoke to him, and his numbers are insane. He told me how much profit he made in the past 2 months. Damn. I gotta up my fees. All right. So how bodacious does the headline need to be? So you want to make it as bodacious as possible. Okay. So if it's not bodacious, it's not going to get anyone's attention. Okay. We need to make it bodacious. We need to get people's attention. Okay. And have some courage to make the claim. Again, when you're testing, just make claims. It's not like you're going to die, right? Just make claims. This is the superpower of the entrepreneur. They can peek out. They can peek their head out for a second and see, what happens. So have the courage to make those claims and stick your neck out. Okay. Another point, that the headline and the claim are independent of the market. Okay. So this is what a lot of people don't understand. This is like this kind of the secret. The headline and the marketing is independent of the market, of the solution. Whatever you're selling, okay? The marketing is independent, which means here's how I can just sum it up. Do what you have to do, say what you need to say to get the customers in the door. And then build what you need to build to get the customers to make a purchase. Okay? So most people build, okay? And then they start doing their marketing with like the product specs or these. It's like selling people, a meal, right? But you're leading with the vegetables, okay? So, but the people want the cherry sundaes, okay? So your meal includes cherry sundaes and vegetables and potatoes and all this other stuff, right? You're still selling that. Well, a lot of people, the health benefits might come from the vegetables, but if you lead with vegetables, no one's going to come in and learn about this healthy meal, okay? So what you do is you lead with the cherry sundae. Lead with the cherry sundae, the benefit, that get the sizzle, bring it in, okay? And then once they're in the door, then we need to educate them on the vegetables, and we get them to buy in on the vegetables, and then we sell them the vegetables, and we sell them the benefit, like we actually deliver the benefit, and we give them the ROI. Make sense? So the headline is completely independent of the actual solution, okay? So that's something to really, really take home. And once you guys get comfortable with that, here's what you do. You just start making headlines, and then you figure out how to get attention, and then you start building and you start providing value with your products. Okay. So yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand. If I can teach you that, guys, it's going to be like lights out. Okay. So the marketing is completely separate from the sales. Okay. The headline of the marketing needs to bring people in the door, and the sales needs to solve a specific problem for the price. Okay. And the mechanism needs to deliver on the promise made during the sale. There are three moving parts. Okay. So there's the marketing. You got to get people in the door. How do we get people in the door? Right. We got cherry sundaes. We got we get the brightest red. We need to get people in the door with our cherry sundaes. Then we need to price. We need to solve a problem, okay? And we need to price it properly, okay? And then we need to make sure that our food is the best damn food on the planet, okay? At least in our town, right? If we're doing this restaurant analogy, we have to make sure that we have the best product out there, okay? And that's how you do it. So lead with a cherry sundae, really good price and offer, and then deliver like a madman or a mad woman, okay? So what if you don't have case studies to back up the claim? Still make the claim bodacious, okay? And then you're going into the test, you're testing things, okay? This is where the courage comes in. So you want to figure out, you'll figure out how to make it true later. Just test the claim. Just figure out how to get people's attention. That's it. Just figure out how to get people's attention. And then once you have their attention, then you can start building. Now, this takes courage. I can't teach courage, right? Like the entrepreneur stuff, there's risk involved, right? If you can't handle a little bit of risk, you're in the wrong profession, okay? So there is risk involved. Someone will call you out. There will be people that say, hey, that's not true. Hey, what are you doing? Right? That's fine. Just say, yeah. I'm just testing. I'm just running tests. That's fine. Okay? So, yeah, don't worry. You'll bust your butt in the engineering phase to make your claim true. However, no one resonates with the claim. There's no point in building anything. Okay? So if there's no one that's resonating with the claim, then yeah, why would you build? I follow this rule so well. All right. I do not like building anything until there's actual clear demand. Okay. Or like I'll just solve the problem for myself. And then because I solved it, I know there's demand. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. Like you guys are going to want it. I don't even care if you buy it or not because this is so damn good. Your competitors will. It's going to work. That's how you kind of want to, that's kind of how you want to approach it. Approach the product development stuff. Okay, so you want to go for a guaranteed yes. So there are 2 degrees of freedom, interest and believability. So you're going for the guaranteed yes. We'll remove the interest from the equation so you can focus solely on believability. So what does that mean? When you make a headline and you want to get people into your world, there's 2 degrees of freedom. 1, the headline doesn't work, or that they're not interested in it. And 2, they don't believe you, so you're not credible. So what we do is we're going for a guaranteed yes, a guaranteed interest. What's the guaranteed yes? It's the cherry sundae, guaranteed yes. And okay, so that's how like you want to eliminate that. Okay, then there's a whole nother dragon that you got to fight, which is believability. So as soon as you have the guaranteed yes, how to make $1 million in 5 minutes, that's a guaranteed yes, right? The next thing you have to address is the believability. Okay? Some people won't believe you. Most people won't believe you make a claim like that. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to eliminate the interest variable and just focus on the believability variable. Okay? It's called a guaranteed yes. All right? So where else is the headline used? The headline will be used in the opt-in pages. Okay? So let me jump to Sales Process IO. These headlines, we help SaaS entrepreneurs go from 0 to $1 million in 12 months while being hilariously profitable. That's a headline, okay? Okay, download the thesis and execution diagrams. Okay, that could be a little bit better, but it's working pretty well. That's a headline. So in your opt-in, that's a headline. In your resource index, these are headlines. 100 million and 350 million in paid ad credits, okay? Turning nickels into dimes using sales letters. Okay. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. This one took a little bit of heat. It's polarizing. Some people are like, yeah, and some people were not. Yeah. How to work out from home and behave like Peter Thiel. Okay, so these are headlines. That's where these headlines go. Okay, guys? So opt-in pages, video sales letters, the ads, the cold emails. It's the bait. It's the claim. Okay? It's like the cherry sundae. Okay? So I already covered the stages of sophistication, but we'll cover them again. We'll just do a little review because they're so important. So there's a few stages of sophistication by Eugene Schwartz. First to market, first one to say it. It's a new claim. You're in the meadow. You have some time. Second to market, you want to elaborate the claim. So 0 to a million, if we're going to elaborate that, it's 0 to 5 million. Okay. Third to market, you focus on the mechanism. Okay. So 0 to a million. Let's go back to I think we already did this, right? 0 to a million, that's a claim. 0 to 5 million, that's elaborating the claim. 0 to 5 million without raising money, that's using an inside sales team, that's a mechanism. Okay. And then the next stage of sophistication is fourth market, you elaborate the mechanism. Okay. So 0 to 5 million, 18 months without raising money using a commission only remote sales team. So this was an inside sales team. This is a commission only remote sales team. I just elaborated the mechanism. Okay. And then if you are fifth to market and you can focus on identifying with the prospect. Okay. So the commission only remote sales team program for rockstar entrepreneurs. Okay, guys. So those are the stages of sophistication. I gave you an example here. We just did an example. Okay. So you can do that. You can use this. Let me just see if there's a point here. Okay. Yeah, there's always a path to success. You just need to figure out where the market is, what level of sophistication there is. And you can do this just by simply observing the competitor ads. So you can go to the Facebook ads, you can go to the Google ads. You can just take a look at their marketing and see where they're at with their claims. Okay. You can just spot like, where are we? Right. Because obviously if their marketing is working, is profitable, then the marketers have probably spent years developing those claims. So just go and look, be like, well, what are they doing? What are they saying? It's a claim, new mechanism. It's a claim, elaborated mechanism. So just figure out where you are and then go beat them. Okay. So the market's always changing and they're coming out with new claims and the market is getting smarter and smarter by the day. Okay. So it's key. Like you got a half-life on your claims, right? You got a half-life on your headlines. So the market's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And they're getting more like, it's called saturation. So if they hear something a lot, they're going to get saturated. It's not going to work as well. Okay. So you got to stay on top. You have to stay connected to the market. You have to know what these people want to hear, what these people want to see. Okay. All right. So the speed at which you test a claim will be the speed at which you determine the market's level of sophistication. So just get out there and testing. Take a little, stick your neck out a little bit, take a little damage, and that's fine. You know what it'll drive? You know what'll who gets really mad? The competitors. The competitors start getting mad. All right. So this is what I was testing a claim with a client, and I wrote this landing page. I'm just testing it. I drove some traffic to this landing page, just a claim. I hit resonance, and I ran the ad for like 2 days, and the next, there was the competitor was contacting this media company and saying, oh, this is, these guys are doing fake claims, blah, 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 blah. And it was the competitor. And that didn't even didn't matter. Didn't really hurt us or anything like that. But yeah, you can see the competitors will get real upset when you start testing your claims, but that's okay. It's the game, guys. It's the game. All right. Obviously, if your claims are not true, then the market is not going to believe you, and you're not going to have, if you do get customers from that, you're not going to have very many customers, for too long. Okay. So yeah, that's how you do it. Competitors copy my claims all the time. When I come up with a new ad or angle, it takes a few hours for competitors to copy. Sometimes I just come up with new ads and new angles, and it doesn't take long for competitors to copy. I'm just waiting for it. Right. So try to ride the wave, and imitators will never get the rewards of the innovators. Okay. So, don't try to imitate people's claims. It doesn't work. There's no rewards. It's too late. Okay. So you want to be the innovator. You want to make your own claims, learn and go through the foundational copywriting, learn marketing, like what you're doing right now. You're in this program, you're learning this stuff right now. You know, this is takes a lot of energy. It's a skill that you're develop. So, you know, don't just be an imitator, and be an innovator, and your claims will start to work like crazy. Okay. So, how easy is it to change the headline? So you can change the headline as you're tweaking. It's not like it's set in stone or anything like that. So you can change the headline to, like if you go to my site, I change the headline all the time. Okay. This used to be 0 to million, SaaS and service entrepreneurs, 0 to 5 million until much or less while being hilariously profitable. Okay. I changed that headline and everyone started, they weren't going to copy my hilariously profitable because it was too novel. But I've seen within 24 hours, I've seen people say, what was it? Wildly profitable, comically profitable, within 24 hours. Okay. And where I got that headline from is one of my customers told me that. That's the language that they used. They said, you know, you guys are, you know, doing this while being hilariously profitable. And I was like, that's a headline. And so then I just threw it on my site and I just tested it. How do you know your headline's working? It'll get engagement. Okay. So people will click, the open rates will be high. It's going to light somebody up like a Christmas tree. They'll start chuckling. They'll start smiling. Okay. How do you know your claim is not working? Your headline's not working? No one cares. No one opens. No one besides your friends, like on LinkedIn. Okay. Can you create multiple headlines and test them? Yeah. Okay. Just shoot them out. Okay. And these are the titles of your sales letters, right? So you can switch up the headlines but don't be like ADD with it. You know, just see if it works. You'll typically know if something works because you'll get some attention. Okay. So picking the lock, you're going to be trying multiple headlines to determine which one resonates with the market. So remember that the headline is independent of the offer and the mechanism. Okay. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what can we claim that will get people fired up? What can we claim? Now, it has to be true. That's why I bust my ass to make things true. I bust my ass to get to the 5 million. I bust my ass to make it hyper profitable. I bust my ass to grow at these like crazy rates, because I know when I make claims that I can let the claim do the work. I know it's going to resonate with the market. So, you know, bust your ass, make your claims true. You got to be, you know, have a wild claim, but you got to make it true. Okay. So that's why you work your butt off so you can make your claims true. And then once they're true and the competitor's not willing to do that, they're not willing to make them true, or they can't make the claim, you're going to get the rewards. Okay. So, if your headline doesn't first engage anyone, then they'll quickly, they'll just go try it again. Okay. Faster you go through this iteration loop, the faster you'll get the headline working. And be ruthlessly objective when you're writing your claim. So understand that no one cares about your product. Don't worry about your product. No one cares. I had to internalize this. You know, I would spend all this time and then I would go to market and no one cared. But the customers, once they were in, they cared. Once they were in, that's what it's like, the hope, right? It's the hope. Your customers are, once they're in and they're using it, they're like, wow, this is so awesome, right? So valuable. But at the marketing level, nobody cared, right? What if I were to go to market and say, hey, like, we're going to teach you how to do this advanced copywriting stuff, and it's going to take really long to learn, and it's going to be really, really hard. But trust me, guys, it's going to be worth it, right? Like, that claim is not as, that's not going to resonate as well as 0 to 5 million in 12 months. The mechanism through which we do that is the copywriting. Make sense? But once you're in here and you learn this stuff, you're like, wow, this is, you know, once you make your first money with your sales letters, then you're going to have a big smile on your face. All right. So, yeah, I think that's it. What does the market really want to hear right now? What's guaranteed? Yes, we already covered that. If you're close to the market, you'll be able to come up with claims like magic that just work. So that's the thing. So it's not like if you're just really close to the market, you'll be able to find claims no problem. All right, guys. So that is it for Headlines Part 2, and we'll see you in the next video.